Hello, everyone. Awesome. Well, that brought the room, made the room very silent. Hello, everyone. I'm Kelly Ault. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the Executive Director of the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance. VOBA is a statewide nonprofit organization with 150 members working to strengthen Vermont's outdoor economy through networking and learning, business development and technical assistance, research and branding, workforce development, and advocacy. Welcome to the Outdoor Innovation Showcase. There is no better place to shine a light on the topics of sustainability and circularity than here at Burton Snowboards, one of Vermont's most iconic and influential outdoor companies, and a longtime pioneer of social and economic impact. Some of you enjoyed the tour earlier, covering almost half a century of manufacturing and snowboarding history. Thanks to Burton for hosting us, and we appreciate all of you here for being part of the conversation. Outdoor recreation continues to be a bright spot for our state, offering a participation boom where 95% of Vermonters get outside. It also drives local economies, which generates $2.1 billion in contributions to state GDP, ranking us second in the nation behind Hawaii. But we know our changing climate is altering our seasons and landscapes. In the 2024 Vermont Outdoor Business Survey, 58% of respondents reported being impacted by recent climate events. As part of the statewide planning process, Move Forward Together Vermont, that you'll hear more about here in a minute, goals for climate resilience, equity, innovation and sustainability, and career pathways will inform VOBA's work over the next 5 years. This gathering launches a 5-event education series leading up to the 7th annual Vermont Outdoor Economy Summit on November 13th at the Birth Mountain Hotel. We hope to see you there. Today, we'll hear about a state vision for the outdoor recreation economy, followed by business leaders collaborating on innovation and leveling up corporate investments in sustainability and circularity systems. Together, their insights should be informative and model creative solutions for collective impact. I'll introduce the panel as a group, and they can each share their perspective. If time allows, we might have a few minutes for Q&A. First on our panel is Jackie Dagger, Program Manager for the Vermont Outdoor Recreation Economic Collaborative. She will be followed by Emily Foster, Director of Sustainability here at Burton Snowboards. Meghan, Director of Product and ESG with Turtle Fur. Followed by Kate Harvey, founder of Birdie Blue. And Amelia Lemme, founder of The Sandbox, will round out our perspectives today. So we're excited for the discussion. Jackie, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. Is this on? Okay, in the spirit of circularity and innovation, I have taken my notes and put them on my phone today. So forgive me if I'm looking down. But I'm Jackie Dagger. I'm the Program Manager for the Vermont Outdoor Recreation Economic Collaborative. And I'm thrilled to be here today with Kelly and supporting the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance as a partner to kick off this networking event and this networking series that VOBA has put on. And around really important topics that are intended to connect outdoor businesses across the state on important topics like innovation and circularity, which we're here to talk about today. So for those unfamiliar with VOREC, our acronym, we are a state program administered through the Department of Forest, Parks, and Recreation in partnership with the Agency of Commerce and Community Development. And we are working together through public-private partnerships to develop and strengthen connections between Vermont's outdoor recreation assets and the economic benefits that come from participation in outdoor recreation. VOREC works in 5 impact areas that include data, funding, policy, technical assistance, and storytelling. And today's topic of innovation and circularity in outdoor business connects directly to VOREC Together Vermont, which Kelly mentioned, which is our state's strategic vision for outdoor recreation economy, and my purpose for being here on the panel today. So in partnership with the Department of workforce, parks, and recreation, we released Move Forward Together Vermont earlier this year following a 2-year planning process. In addition to being our strategic vision, this plan also acts as Vermont's statewide comprehensive outdoor recreation plan, and that gives us access to some federal funding resources and helps us direct that funding into projects. The plan is also the result of robust public engagement with participation from over 2,500 people, including some of you here today, so thank you so much for your input. I really appreciated it. Move Forward Together Vermont's vision is to foster healthy and vibrant communities through outdoor recreation. And it sets 2 shared goals of equity and climate resilience and encourages all actions taken in support of the plan to consider these 2 needs. Finally, it sets 19 priority actions that are sorted into 3 key themes of stewardship, wellness, and economic development. Being here with you at Burton's headquarters is really such a pleasure. I was on the tour earlier and it was fascinating. It's my first time. And Burton is really an example of some of the work that has and is already happening that ties to Move Forward Together Vermont. Burton is a business, as Kelly was saying, that was born in Vermont, is deeply tied to our landscape, and has innovated and evolved here over the years. Their work on innovation and circularity is something we want to support and make possible for other businesses as we work together on the goals tied to outdoor business in Move Forward Together Vermont. There's several priorities in the plan that are intended to help us come together to do this. The most relevant to our conversation today being the action to support innovation in Vermont's outdoor sector by supporting entrepreneurship, providing resources to businesses, and seeking solutions to challenges. So before I turn the floor back over to Kelly to talk with our panel, I also just wanted to note to you that I brought some materials about Move Forward Together Vermont, and they're over on the table back there. And I encourage you to go once we're networking and mingling about to go and just take a quick look. I brought some one-pagers about Move Forward Together Vermont with information on where to find more resources about this plan you can take home with you. I also brought some table copies of the reports that we produced with information about the survey participation that we saw, which included the first ever outdoor business survey. So I encourage you to go flip through those materials and please leave them on the table because I am using those at various events that I'm going to and recycling them. So with that, I'm thrilled to listen to this panel of fantastic leaders in the outdoor business space in Vermont with you and be a part of this. And I'm going to turn the floor back over to Kelly.
And I will turn it over to Emily.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks for that. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily Foster. I'm the Director of Sustainability here at Burton. Thank you all for coming today. Today I'm going to share a little bit about our approach to sustainable innovation. Burton is a certified B Corp. We have been since 2019. So we try to weave in purpose throughout our every aspect of our business. But the focus of our sustainability team is really on climate action, circularity, and responsible sourcing. So I'll share a little bit about our approach to that work, but I wanted to start with the why. So at Burton, climate action is our North Star. It's not difficult to really see the connection between a snowboarding brand and climate change. It affects our sport, it affects our sales, our bottom line, it affects our global supply chain and our workforce, and we've certainly seen the impact here in Vermont. So acting on climate is not just something to do because of the right thing, because we're a responsible business, but because there is a real business case for it. And we approach climate action in 2 ways. One is to advocate for public policy for resources within our state and across the country and in the areas where we operate. And it's also through decarbonizing our business. So we've set ambitious targets and goals for reducing our carbon footprint across our company and our operations throughout our supply chain. And we're in the process of getting those certified with the Science Based Target Initiative so we can ensure that our ambition is really meeting the moment. So those are our goals. The way that we get after that is through circularity. And for us, we approach circularity from two perspectives. It's throughout our products, and then also looking at our business model overall. On the product side, if we're thinking about our full product life cycle, we've made, I think, the biggest strides on the materials and the design side. We have a bunch of creative folks in the office across the way that are great at designing kick-ass product that stays in the market for a long time because it's quality and it's durable. We've made a lot of progress on incorporating recycled inputs into our products. I think this upcoming season, you'll see we have like 70% of our polyester in our soft goods is recycled. And we're adding recycled rubber into the midsoles of some of our boot styles. We also set the industry standard for using bio-based epoxy in our boards. So we've made progress on these like material input side. But what we struggle with is that we've been in business for almost 50 years now, and it's a linear model. And we struggle with those later life cycle stages. How do we empower customers to repair products? How do we get products back into use after one customer is done with it? And how do we address end of life? Those aren't proficiencies that we really have in-house. So that's where partnerships come into play. Just as we need a healthy ecosystem for snowboarding to exist, we need partnerships and a healthy ecosystem of circular businesses that can enable our transition to a more circular business model. So I'm really excited to hear from the other panelists and their examples of how they are either incorporating circularity into their business strategies or that they have a circular business model from the jump. And I think that's really what gets me excited is the potential for innovation and what you can learn when you start to adopt circular principles within your design process. And then the entrepreneurship and really great examples across our state. So I'm going to turn it over to next one.
Thanks, Emily. That's a tough act to follow. She has so much knowledge. Hi, everyone. I'm Meghan Ksiazek. I'm the VP of Product and ESG at Turtle Fur. And we are kind of like a baby cousin of Burton as far as being born in Vermont around the same age. We're maybe a little younger. And so that comes with a lot of challenges, right? We're a heritage brand, and when you decide as a heritage brand that you want to change your business model at age 40, that takes a whole lot of effort, right? We know as you're in your 40s, changing your life is not quite as easy as when you're in your, 9s, 10s, 20s. But we decided at that point that being a responsible business was the only way forward. COVID may have been a challenging time, but I think it was a gift for many of us to give us time to think about what was important in life. And part of that was circularity, responsibility, sustainability, climate action. It was like, what can we do to save this world? And if we didn't change the way we behave, not only would we lose our customers' interest in us, but we would lose the place we play. And for me, winter equals joy. If I don't have winter, I don't have joy, and I have no reason to create products. So taking that model, luckily, even though we're a tiny team, and being the person who's the head of product and the head of ESG means that I get to control what our inputs are from the beginning of the supply chain. And that's a lucky place to sit and to exist that not a lot of people get to have in these larger companies. I know a lot of people who say, always pushing upstream, the design department's being difficult, and I kind of chuckle to myself of like, okay, well, convince them or invite them onto your team. Like, why are you fighting with each other? So for us, it's so easy for us to start at the beginning, because it's always easier to start when you're born, right? Talking about being a heritage company. It would have been easier if we started in 1982 to be awesomely responsible, then we wouldn't have so much impact behind us as it is now. So we started to change over our whole supply chain, and we're now at our current, not our new line, but our current line is 68% sustainable products. And going from 0 to 68 in a matter of 5 years, if you know anything about products, that's a huge transition. And we really started to work closer with our suppliers, talking to them about what is your waste? How can we use that waste? Please don't make that if there's going to be waste. Tell me what's left over. Can I reutilize that somehow? Is there a way we can sell it off? How can we maybe put it back into the chain system? We have this program called Project Warmth, where we want to keep people warm that are in need, and we've donated a gajillion products. But the point is that we sometimes take that as an opportunity to reuse some things that might be left over to make products to help keep people warm. And so that's like a way that we can create a circular business model without having to completely change the system, but reuse what we have. As far as end of life, similar challenges as Burton, there are not really infrastructure or systems to support end of life beyond repairs. And we make hats and headwear. I mean, really, how many people want to buy a used hat from somebody else? Not a whole lot of people. It's probably they've had it for 10 years and it's kind of gross. So without a way of recycling it, it's, what do you do with it? It's a huge challenge, and it's hard to think about, and I'm thankful that we make products that last a really long time. I mean, how many of you have a piece of turtle fur neckwear that you've had since 1984, right? It's like, it's one of those things, it stays with you forever, but it actually stays forever. That's the other part that kind of hurts my heart. So by being a responsible business, we're doing our best to give back, to engage, to be part of the community, and to also engage on a local level, taking the dollars that our business brings in and changing what's going on around us. So maybe we can't always make that impact on a material level, but we can make that impact on a community level. So engaging with your local communities, we work closely with Vermont Adaptive. That's our partner. Like, we don't have big partnerships with international brands. Our big partnerships are with local people. And keeping those dollars local really helps us to change the world around us and to support our state. And I guess my piece of advice, because we were supposed to give a piece of advice, you kind of did. I would say changes on the state level. Tell your stories, advocate, be annoying. Because it only takes like 5 of you to change the vote in our tiny little state. So if you really believe in something, go speak about it, and don't be afraid to tell people how you feel. I'm gonna pass it off to Kate, because she's awesome too, and we also work with Kate, so that's exciting.
Amazing, thank you. So, hi everyone, I'm Kate Harvey. I'm the founder of Birdie Blue. I guess we're like the baby cousin partner, since we've been in business almost 3 years now. And we are very personally passionate, and just as a company passionate about being that end-of-life partner to all of our gear companies. We upcycle old ski and snowboard gear, fabrics, into personality-filled lifestyle bags. So our whole thought is that there was kind of a hypothesis personally that I discovered when my ski pants ripped. I was skiing with my son, so as we talk about winter being joy, it's a place that we personally as a family couldn't live without, and we are always outside. So when my ski pants ripped, my son and I started doing some research and found that there really weren't any partners doing any type of upcycling or recycling of outdoor gear. And we also discovered a really scary fact that 92 million tons of clothes get thrown out every year. That's the equivalent of a garbage truck dumping its load every second. So we can think about that as like this room would be full by the end of this talk, which is really scary, especially when I think about my children and the joy that we find personally, not only as parents with our kids out in the environment, in our greatest playground, but the world that we're leaving for them. So that's kind of where he and I actually got behind a sewing machine and just started cutting up the snow pants. And we had friends ask us, and we kind of snowballed from there, no pun intended, and realized that we were kind of onto something. And then it was really thanks to our Vermont partners that gave us a chance. I think Birdie Blue was born in the best state because of the fact that we all really are a community and we all support each other. So Burton gives us their gear that they can't repair, which I will say, which is great. I mean, I will take any gear, but it's not that much. I will say that warranty team is amazing. The way that they repair and work with rugged threads. It's really very rare that we see something that can't be repaired, which we'll talk about in our next chat. But the good news is that we are able to then take that gear, if it can't be repaired, and give it more life. And then our friends at Turtle Fur give us gear and fabrics that we put inside our bags, as did Skita. So there's a lot of ways that we can all kind of work together. And Birdie is very, very passionate about being that partner. So the whole idea that Burton doesn't have to retool their entire supply chain to try to then think through and invest in ways of giving the gear more life. Let us be that partner. We're a collaborator, we're not a competitor, and we're helping to create new revenue streams for our partners. So another example is we just partnered with Stio and Gear Trade, and it's a great case study in full life of gear. And when we think about circularity, it's a buzzword, but we can really put it into action and show that it can be done and profits can be made. Since I know we're all here, where businesses have to make money in order to operate. So we've been very, very passionate about showing that upcycling, yes, it's hard work, but it can make money, and it can make money for all parties involved. So the whole idea that Stio had 3 pallets worth of gear that they sent to Gear Trade. Gear Trade is a secondhand sale consignment site. They have now been doing a lot of white labeling for their partners, where it's they do all the technology to allow partners to sell their gear, either repaired or secondhand. And then any gear that's broken is now getting sent to Birdie Blue, and we take it all apart in our Morrisville, Vermont studio. We cut it into sewing packs and we send it out to our sewing team, all based in Vermont, many of which are women who live in the Northeast Kingdom. It allows them to stay at home with their children, make money for their families at a living rate, and bring money into their families where childcare can be challenging and employment can be challenging. So then they're able to then sell the bags back to either Stio at the end of the gear's life, or we sell it out in the market and everybody gets a piece of the profits. So it's a nice way of showing that we're just a little creative and put in a little time and innovation that we can create kind of new business models with gear that would otherwise end up in the garbage. So that's been one thing that we've been really trying to focus on in both small companies and big companies, and just showing that let us be your partner. We just picked up 100 jackets and ski pants from Stratton Mountain. So thinking through kind of how ski mountains can also do this with a lot of the ski patrol gear or ski instructor gear that, and ski and ride, sorry. I'm in the home of snowboarding. I'm so sorry. Ski and ride schools. And it's the whole idea of being able to then show with ski mountains, yes, you can't necessarily donate a ski patrol jacket for obvious reasons. So let us then help you kind of take it all apart. If there's a broken zipper or rips and tears, we can then create what is then sellable gear in retail shops. I actually learned to ski at Stratton. I know how rabid everybody who skis at Stratton is. So there's a huge market there for opportunities to then educate the end consumer as well on kind of just how all of these partnerships are coming together. And I would say that's been one area that we've found can be incredibly impactful, is just how we educate the consumer as well. So thinking through where you're buying your gear, how you repair your gear, how you take care of your gear, create more longevity in the life of that gear, and then thinking through really the transparency that can come into fact when you don't know kind of where that gear is going at the end of its life. So there's really a lot of power that we can also put in the hands of our consumers with the Stio case study, we did a whole training with their retail teams, with bags are now in the 11 stores that Stio has all over the country. And it's been really amazing to see that 100 bags in just 1 week sold, because we trained the retail team who then shared the story. And a friend of mine lives in Park City, Utah, and she called me and she was like, I went into the store and they told me all about you and how the bags are made. It was so cool. And of course, I mean, that pinched me. Like, who would have thought that this would have happened, when I started this? But that's so cool that we're all working together to really, again, engage the consumer, the end consumer, in what is circularity as well. So not just using these buzzwords, but really walking the walk. And then I think my just word of advice, I'm absolutely in line with Meghan, like, we just need to keep shouting this from the rooftops. I will say that as a startup, I maybe shouldn't say this, but I chase like every free dollar I can to keep driving sales and growth, and trying to kind of do this more and more, and partner with more and more gear companies and save more and more gear. And I find that a lot of other states have a lot of really amazing grant programs. So it's one thing that I've kind of been trying to advocate for at the Vermont level too. VOBA has been truly amazing. I was on a founded outdoors call yesterday where they called out VOBA as being one of the best OBAs they work with across the country. So we're very, very lucky that we have a lot of great partners that advocate for all of us. But it doesn't hurt to have a little bit more help at the advocacy and state level. So thank you. I'll pass it on to Amelia, who's also an amazing partner with us too.
Thank you, Kate. My name is Amelia. I'm the founder of this place right here on Pine Street called Sandbox. We do a lot of gear and garment repair. How many of you know about us? Okay, good. All right, we're still trying to get the word out. But Sandbox, we started Sandbox 2.5 years ago. And, we are very lucky that we have Russ Scully supporting the business. But we just started with the idea of, can we divert textile from landfill? By doing repair, by partnering up with brands, and we start seeing this traction from the community and the support from the community. So today, Sandbox is on a mission really to divert textile from going to landfill. So we do what we can. We partner with brands like Burton, Birdie Blue, whatever we can do to that garment, sometimes even shoes, we'll repair and we'll try to give 5-10 more years of life to that garment. So the other way we can also stick to our mission to divert textile from landfill. We have a pre-loved shop. So our community support us by donating clothing. Sometimes you don't want to wear that thing anymore, but it's in perfect condition. So we have this beautiful curated pre-loved shop. We also do community dye batch. So if you have clothing that are stained or faded, we will dye them, and it's so fun because it's all, that clothing comes so unique and you're not expecting the color that's gonna turn. We work with dead stock fabric. So we picked up fabric from Turtle Bird and from anybody. We can use that on workshops, we use for our patches. I have a few examples there on the table. So it's, but it's a lot. So we're really trying to focus on our backyard, in our community. How can we bring a positive impact to our community? But I'm just gonna share some fun data, not as fun, but some data about textile. Average person wear a garment 7 times and they throw that away. So that's pretty bad. Maybe not a mosquito hat, turtle fur hat, but yeah, people toss the garment because they're just buying cheap stuff that doesn't last, they toss it. And like Kate said, a truckload of garment is burned every second. So Earth can't keep up with this, right? We came after Industrial Revolution and then linear thinking. And now we're trying to can we do circular? Can you turn this way of thinking a little bit more circular? And you start with education. So being here in Burlington, we know the community is there for us. It's not like we're trying to shovel that down their throat. They already know Instagram is showing all that information. So it's an easy conversation about, hey, fix that shit instead of tossing it away. Mend that shit. So let's do that. Don't toss it because it's polyester. Polyester doesn't biodegrade. You know, stays there for 200 years. And we're not prepared, and there's no mechanical recycling, chemical recycling available enough for us to put that somewhere, turn that into something. Everything inside of Earth stays inside of Earth, and we're digging raw material to make new stuff, not thinking about where this is gonna go. So the thinking has to be different. Sandbox is here to make a positive impact on our community. Well, we can't do this by ourselves, so we need partners. So we're looking for more partners, Burton, to bring that repair, keep that repair here, keep the dollars here. So we're willing to bend over, backward, forward, whatever you guys need, to bring the repair across the street. I know Rugged Threads is an amazing business. I'm very proud of Kim is what she's building. But we're scrappy. We're getting there. But yeah, we want to more solid partners. We just got a new partner from UK. They're an amazing brand called Finisterre. So we're gonna help them with their repair here in the United States. Great partnership for us. And hopefully we'll get Burton as a partner. And we also have amazing Skida now. We're making a small batch production for Skida. And that way we can keep investing in our business and grow Sandbox even more. Because that's what we want to do. We want to help our community, maybe even expand beyond Vermont, you know, go East Coast. There's a lot of garment out there, and we all need repair. Some of the stuff that we buy, we love it. We want to keep wearing that. So yeah, if you haven't been at Sandbox, we're walking friendly. Come at any time. Bring your stuff that has holes, broken zipper, waterproofing, whatever you need. Backpack, shoes. We'll try to fix shoes. Yeah, we will try to, if there's a way for us to put a needle through that thing, we're gonna try. But yeah, very proud of the team that we have there. We're a team of 4 ladies, fair wage. It's not a sweatshop. Everybody has like pretty good country club life style. But yeah, it's a cool environment, and we love what we do. Everybody's there because we believe that we're doing something positive to our community. And I guess, you know, my ask is man shit, don't man that, fix that, don't toss it. Come bring things for us to repair. If you know anybody that has a broken something, let them know about Sandbox. And really, bring us more partner. We're looking for a partner. This way we can continue growing Sandbox. I didn't write any notes, but I did think about what I was going to say today, so I might be blanking out with some stuff. Yeah, I think, you know, the way we can, I guess my advice for whoever's on the business or it's, you know, how to inspire you is just, yeah, if you have a passion about what you're doing and you can always do better and yeah, believe in what you're doing, that's a good way. I think that's it. I really appreciate you guys inviting me to be part of this panel. This is the second time for me talking at Burton. The first time I had my own clothing line that I'm glad that it's over. But yeah, very inspiring, everybody. I'm hoping to connect with everybody. Come talk to me, stop by Sandbox, bring us stuff to repair. Thank you.
Thank you to our panelists. Incredible stories, incredible businesses, incredible leadership here and also in the room. We can make time for one question. So if someone would like to put a topic to the panel, and we'll get some final words out there, and then we'll let the panel loose so we can do our networking and eat some good food. Does anyone have a question? Ali, if you just want to shout it out, I'll repeat it into the microphone.
So, I heard Burning Blue and Sandbox saying we need partners. I heard our other friends on the panel saying they can be partners, but to bring you partners, what do we need to do like if I'm not a gear maker myself, what does it take for the people you want to be your partners to be your partner? Like, do I need to be walking consistently into a store and saying, well, do you repair, do you recycle, in which case, until they say, yes, we work with these other partners to do that. Can you explain more the partner piece and how, since like the general consumer could be working on your behalf?
Wait.
That's a great
Yeah, great question. Thank you. I think there are a couple things that I can think of. One is just creating a connection, like, you know, and this is a small state, kind of is easy for you to get to that person that you want to talk to. But in the way that this can actually happen, I feel like for Sandbox, I would love more support on skills. So we need people, we need training, we need where's the effort for us to find qualified sewers or having some kind of training program. And I think this is a conversation that we had a while back about, you know, Vermont Lab, everybody was looking for skilled sewers, and yeah, we need that piece of the puzzle, even though we have great sewers at Sandbox. We have probably the two best ones. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question, so thank you. I think the beauty of organizing like this and convening over a topic like this is getting questions like that coming, and being a part of what we're all trying to do is that advocacy piece that you mentioned, just kind of asking, being a part of it, being aware, and thinking about really understanding kind of the life cycle of gear is incredibly important, and that's kind of where the groundswell happens and where we start to see many partners come out of the woodwork. It does take work and it takes time for us to be making those connections, as Amelia has talked about, and many of my connections have been very organic just in being a Vermonter. But I think that the more and more we talk about this and more we all get involved, a lot of these partnerships just start to come up and pop up and bubble up and then become real. And it, again, just helps us continue to push forward purpose and passion and then profit too. Again, I hate to say that, but it has to make money. Unfortunately, like, money is what makes everything work, right? And the world go around. So it's the whole idea of being able to show that this is a good thing, that consumerism and overbuying and overproduction is not necessarily going to lead to profit. There's a lot of other avenues here that we can all get behind, that businesses can still be very successful and consistent. It's just, how do we all get behind not overbuying and circularity?
Anyone else have I think maybe we can take one more and then we'll wrap it up with this.
I just had a quick question. So we have a retail shop. We partner with Burton since 81, before I was born. And they're great with warranty, and we have sent some pieces back that either been fixed, repaired, in some cases replaced. It used to be a lot more replacement, but I think sometimes the turnaround time is when the customer is like, I'm just gonna buy a projector.
Right, because he wants to go back on the mountain tomorrow.
Yeah, so I guess my question as a retailer who we deal with Burton and all the brands in here, probably a majority of them, along with hundreds of other brands, what is a realistic as a shop? If we send you something on Monday, because we're not in Burlington, we're in Burlington. I put it in the mail on Monday, it gets there by Wednesday, you're busy. You know, is it a 2-week turnaround? And you have the ability to ramp up if you're saying we're going to be partnering with Burton? Like in the past, some customers want to pay to get stuff fixed, but it's like, well, you can send it to Rainy Pass Repair out west, or Rugged Threads out west, or, you know, but we're in Vermont. That's a long
Yeah, it would
way.
be nice to keep that here, right?
Yeah, so it's like a realistic turnaround.
Yeah, so
Really,
Sorry, thank you. So this is an ongoing conversation with Burton already about us helping them with the repair because of the quick turnaround that we can offer that. You don't have to ship that across the country, thinking about your carbon footprint. We're right here. Like, it's easier to work with a company that is right here. So for Sandbox, we offer 2 days after, if we have the zipper, if we're able the same day. We do offer a rush fee. Busy season for us is a 3-4 weeks turnaround, but often people choose for $25 more, they're gonna get that jacket back, sometimes on the next day, if we're able to fix that. So have that option for the guy that doesn't have this even, snow jacket. They need to be back on the mountain. Yeah, so Patagonia sends stuff to us when customers saying, I don't want to wait 6 months for this, I don't want 10 weeks, whatever the turnaround time.
Because I think there's probably a lot of retailers that.
Send it to us, yes.
Okay, see, we're
Yes.
all doing some business.
See,
Thank you.
Yeah, send it to us, we can help. And, I'm trying to grow the team, and the more support I have, the more I can invest back in the business and keep growing this. Because not every state have a repair center like Sandbox. And we've been here for 2.5 years, so let people know that we're here. Let the other retailers know that we're here. We just want to make it easy for everybody. So you don't have to replace them, they just repair them.
Great question. With that, we are going to wrap up the formal presentation so we can enjoy each other's company over some food. But I just wanted to again thank our panelists for the stories, the inspiration, the ideas. I hope this is the beginning of a conversation. It definitely is within VOBA, as we have referred to our 5-event series, this kicking off a series of conversations leading up to our Vermont Outdoor Economy Summit on November 13th in Burke. The next one I'll mention is going to be in September 3rd. It's on equity partnerships, and it will be down in Middlebury. We'll do a walk at the Otter Creek Park and then go to Flatbread for dinner, more networking, and hear from some of our community organizations doing great work on inclusivity across the state. Following that, on September 25th is our Career Pathways meetup at the North Branch Nature Center. We'll hear from educators and employers, HR folks about retention and recruitment. And then we will have a Climate Ready VT partnership workshop with Vermont Businesses for Social Responsibility on October 21st for businesses who really want to put a plan in place for being nimble and adapt for whatever comes their way in the future. So lots of really great ideas to come, lots of opportunities to get together. Thank you to Burton again for hosting us. Really appreciate the team and the location, and thanks to VOREC for being our partner and the Northern Border Regional Commission for supporting these events. And just wanted to say thank you for coming and hope that we see you again soon.
And I am the Executive Director of Ault here in Burlington, and I was thrilled to hear the different opinions and stories being shared in the panel today, because refurbishment and repairability and keeping bikes running and giving them second lives, third lives, fourth lives, that's the core of what we do at Ault and I love hearing so many organizations and companies that are trying to do the same thing with different products to keep things from going from those being worn 7 times and being thrown away. So yeah, love to hear that.
How we doing, folks? This is Jeff Alexander. I'm with Vermont Outdoor Ski and Sports. We were just here at our VOBA panel, and I just have one thing to say, that it was amazing to see the amount of powerful women on this stage. I'm a girl dad, and that is very refreshing to see. All of these ladies nailed it, and they're very powerful in what they do and how they're shaping society here in Vermont.